Hey.
Hey, Daves.
What's happening? What's up?
So I'm curious.
Yeah.
We're doing a lot of belly to belly these days, both personally and in facilitation mode. We've been reading more and more about what's happening scientifically in the neurobiology of our bodies when we're doing this practice. And so I got really curious to have a little bit of an interview and a dialogue so that we might share why it is that we're doing this and why it makes sense to us and why it feels so good. So I'm curious first, I'd love to ask you just to start off, just by sharing what is interpersonal neurobiology.
Yeah, so that's a phrase coined by Daniel Siegel, an amazing genius researcher, doctor, and also ecstatic dancer. I met him in LA last year, dancing around. But interpersonal neurobiology refers to, interpersonal is relational, and neurobiology, nervous system in the body. And interpersonal neurobiology relies on three things. And one of them is the mind, one of them is the brain, and one of them is the relationship. And so they are, and the mind is, according to this definition, a relational process that regulates energy and information.
So the mind
is
in
this
a
model
relational process that regulates
energy and information.
Energy and information.
Got it.
So the energy that's being exchanged between you and I, and the information that energy is giving to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for example, I can mind my hand right now, and my thought goes to my hand, my energy goes to my hand, and I begin to feel information, as in it pulsates more and more. I feel prickling feelings, whatever. So I'm
if
guiding
you're doing your own hand, it's kind of personal neurobiology. But now, if you take in my hand,
so now I feel the heat of your body. I can feel how it reflects up into my leg here. So, but the point is that even though we can do interpersonal, relational, which is actually about how we connect. But everything is relational. Everything is subject and object. And the brain in this model it's not just the brain here. It's the brain is in the whole body. So it's like how the mind works and the brain, which is the nervous system, and in the relationship. Okay, so that's like the context here.
Right.
Yeah. And so part of the nervous system is basically here to help us survive. So, easy way to understand it. Let's say you've been hurt by men. So then you've been, you have a wound around men. And so when you come close to a man, you feel a little scared because your body, your nervous system makes you nervous, right?
Yeah.
But it might be your father, that he was a dangerous man. And so he had a beard. So like the nervous system responds to these very basic non-verbal cues. Like eyes, facial expression, tone of voice, posture, gesture, tone, intensity. So it's like we communicate mostly non-verbally. Right? And then if I'm not aware of my brain, as in my nervous system, then I will make up a story that will support my nervous system experience of men, so to speak. So now I will make, all men are like Mr. Trump. All men are like XYZ, right? So to support. But with this information, now we can, so let's see, you're a man, and are you really what I think you are? Are you what I make up? And then I can begin to use somatic resources. We work with my body, like work with my nervous system directly.
Which is somatic is in the body.
Body.
When you say somatic resources, you mean resources
physical
resources in your own body.
And so, for example, belly to belly, when we lay down and we touch, this is an interpersonal somatic resource. As we're using touch, without any other agenda than to be present. So it's not touch to get laid or touch to change something in you. It's just touch with presence.
Yes.
Right? So that touch works directly with the nervous system to calm it down. So the nervousness will be soothed as we breathe together, sound together, and touch.
Right.
So then we can actually contrast the triggered reaction in the nervous system, right?
I'm making up that that's a lot of what's happening in the mind. That's a lot of the historical data that's stored.
Yeah, all of a sudden my body's picking up this, oh, a man, and I'm feeling nervous.
Yeah.
And then, but now I'm aware of, okay, how can I locate my nervous system? Well, as in what animals do, they tense, they prepare for the attack or the escape or the collapse. I begin to notice, oh, there's a signs. I stop breathing, or I really start hyperventilating.
Yeah.
There's reactivity.
Yeah.
Like I can begin to learn to read my nervous system.
Yeah.
And then I can begin to regulate my nervous system.
Right.
So I can actually impact the automatic response. Basically, the nervous system learns from the past and projects that fear on the future.
Right.
Therefore, all men are dangerous, right? So I need to be on guard.
Yep.
But I can say, hey, but I also want to be close to men, as a brother, or as a sister, or as a lover, or as a so I want to challenge that fear.
Yeah.
But how do I do that? Well, first of all, maybe alignment. I sit up, so I'm not in collapsed or on guard. I can use my arms and create more of a experience of safety within myself, right? I can take a breath, and especially this diaphragmatic breath have been scientifically proven, we can't really say, but suggested that this actually helps to activate the polyvagal system, so we can actually begin to feel at peace.
And that is the belly and belly to belly.
Yeah.
Is the reminder that we're taking deep breaths not just into the chest, but all the way down into the belly. When you inhale and breathe out and let your stomach come out, your diaphragm is getting a full breath. But when you inhale and you suck, you're actually pulling the diaphragm in and not getting a full breath. You're constricting.
Yeah.
So that's the belly to belly, is both bellies breathing in and kind of bulging out at one another.
Exactly. So this is kind of to wrap up. So interpersonal neurobiology really supports the work, because it really looks at the relationship and the power of the relationship, and like the brain, including the nervous system, is a social organ. We develop a sense of self in relating to one another.
Yes.
So if you heard about insecure attachment or attachment, when you have a secure attachment, it helps you with resiliency. Yeah. You can deal with life's ups and downs. But when you have an insecure attachment, you deal with that a lot less efficiently. So what we do, we really help through calming down the nervous system and it relating with the fears. Oh, you're a man, so I'm feeling this nervousness. And as you can be a man and you can hear and hold space for that, and you can feel my vulnerability and be touched by that, now I'm actually adding a new experience of you being a man. I mean, you're not, but, and then I can add that to my nervous system, like, okay, not all men are dangerous. You know, so now we have, I can make a choice and make a change, right? And so in these techniques we are building a more secure attachment, and which builds a more a clear sense of self, like who I am in my body versus who I think I need to be safe with men, right? Sharp and or all submissive and nice, or like, no, you don't have to be as you think you need to be. Like, you are who you are, and that is in the body.
Yeah.
Right?
And so relating this back as we close just into the belly to belly practice, like The things that are so important about this practice are the ability to establish somatic sense of safety with self and with another. And when that happens, and when our bodies are touching and we're relaxing, we're kind of rewriting a new script and co-regulating both of our nervous systems together. Yeah? And that's what gives this sense of, wow, this feels so good, and I feel so safe, and men aren't so scary, and this man is safe. And maybe I can open up and open my heart and share more.
And also what you do in that, then you also learn, what do I need to be safe with the man? Well, I need to breathe together, make a bit of a sound, and just be together. You know? Not like, okay, he's touching me, now I need to go for sex, or now I need to, like, no. Like, okay, as we're touching and breathing together, I'm noticing I'm feeling some nervousness. Can we take another breath? You know, so that you learn how to really regulate your nervous system, self-regulation and co-regulation, because when we feel safe, we can play. Now, this is how we feel good together. Because I know I can always halt, I can always go forward. It's like we are together as we are, instead of who we think you need to be a man or a woman or whatnot. So we begin to relate in truth.
Beginning to relate in truth.
Embodied truth.
Embodied truth.
Embodied intimacy.
Slow down enough to actually be able to have the ability to feel what that truth is, and then slow down even further to be able to communicate and listen to that truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Try it.
Thanks, babes.